Hey guys, Jordan from Adreno here, and today we are going to be doing a knife review on our spearfishing and our scuba diving knives. So first we're going to get stuck into our spearfishing knives. And the first one that we have here is our Spearo Sidekick dive knife. This knife does come with its leg straps. And the sheath is also compatible to fit through a weight belt as well. So you can have it set up in a number of different ways. One thing that I like about this knife is the actual sheath itself. To get the knife out, you do have to press these two grey squeeze lock buttons. Otherwise that knife is not coming out of its sheath. So the reason why I like that is because it just adds to a bit of extra safety when you're out in the water. You do have to actually think about what you're doing. You can't just pull the knife out and happy days. So pressing in those two squeeze lock buttons and then just pulling the knife straight out. As I said, added to that safety precaution, which is really nice. The other good thing as well is that locking method. If you're doing a shore dive or you're getting in off a boat, the blade itself isn't going to fall out of that sheath. So those two buttons have to be pressed in for that to happen. On the blade itself, we've got one side here, which is our nice sharp cutting side. And then here we've got our serrated edge as well. It's light, it's small, and it is really suitable for Spearos, for doing your braining, cutting your gills, all of that sort of stuff. The Spearo Sidekick, it's a very nice handy knife, and it's one that I do personally use myself. Yeah, just really good quality. So next we'll move on to our Spearo Predator knife, which is a little bit smaller in terms of the actual blade size and the handle as well. This knife, and with all Spearo knives, it's not so much for stabby, get away from me. It is just purely for that factor of braining a fish after you've shot it and cutting the gills. This knife, again, comes with its sheath, okay? A little bit different to the Sidekick. It doesn't have those two buttons or that squeeze lock method. It does just slide straight in and then it just locks into place. This knife does not come with leg straps. It does, however, have a wide enough groove for your weight belt. So this knife will always want to sit on your weight belt. To get the knife out, it's just as simple as pulling it out like that. Because it's so small and the handle's a little bit small as well, it can be a little bit cumbersome to pull out of the sheath. So when you are in the water, just make sure you are taking your time to get that out. The Spearo Predator, again, serrated edge up the top here, and then our nice refined blade on the left-hand side here as well. It's a really nice quality blade. The benefit is that it's small, it's lightweight, it's not going to take up too much room on your person. And to get it into a fish's skull, you know, you're not going to have to fight with like a big handle or anything like that. So the Spearo Predator, really good quality knife, small and lightweight. Next, we have our Adreno flip knife. So that'll come out and look like that. This knife has a few added features that the Sidekick and the Spearo do not have. And the first one being our line cutter through the middle here, okay? So for whatever reason, if there's any fishing line or rope or something like that in the water, you do have that extra little groove in there to help cut. The flip method doesn't require a sheath, that's how it'll sit. So you could use this as a Spearo. Predominantly, you'd probably want like a pocket or some sort of lanyard to weave through this little hole in the handle there, just to keep it attached to yourself so that you are able to reach for it, take it out and use it for its purpose. That being said, scuba divers, you can use this knife as well. I would just stick it in your pocket and go from there. The Adreno knife, it's actually very lightweight. There's not a whole heap of weight in the handle or in the blade. And then we've got 2 serrated edges, one on this side and then one on the back here as well. And then a nice refined blade up the top there. So that's our first Adreno knife, which is pretty cool, being that flip style method. To close it as well is this part of the blade here. We just press that in and then the knife should just fold in together like that. Next, we have our Adreno FG knife. This is predominantly the knife that I will use when I'm spearfishing. And the reason being is because I actually prefer a bit of a longer handle. It's easy to hold in different ways, depending on how you're braining your fish or cutting those gills. And then the nice long blade as well. This one does come with a bit of a line cutter through the bottom here, and a nice long refined sharp edge, as well as our serrated edge here as well. It does come with our nice sheath. It comes with leg straps, as well as the ability to put it on your weight belt. The locking mechanism, again, it's just a push in and lock in. So that's not going anywhere unless you were to physically pull it out. You do have this nice hole up the front here. So if you wanted to add a little bit of extra safety, in case it was to fall out, you could pull through a lanyard of some sort and have that attached as well. For me personally, I don't do that, but there are some extra benefits if you just wanted to add to a bit of security when you're diving. The Adreno FG knife is one of our nicest knives. Pulling it out is as simple as that. And the fact that it fits on your weight belt as well just makes it so much easier to store and to have on you in a nice, easy place that you're going to remember. So that's the Adreno FG knife, really good quality. Next is moving more into our scuba diving range. That being said though, you could use any of these knives that we've already spoken about to an extent. Just depends on how you're going to store it or attach it to your gear. Which leads me to our next knife, which is another Adreno product, and that's what it looks like here. So it's a bit more of a multi-purpose tool, more so than for braining a fish. The top or the point of the blade is shaved down, so it's not pointed, which is good for a multi-purpose tool if you were to be digging a rock or something out of the way and needed a bit of leverage. But it also has that nice serrated edge for your line cutting as well. And then the beautiful part about this is you have that nice handle, so you can have a nice firm grip on there. To close that blade back in is you have that button and you press that down. So nice and easy, and it's quite compact as well. And then the next step from there is we have a carabiner style method, which is just this part here. So if you wanted to, you could clip that straight onto your shoulder carabiner and just be able to locate your knife straight away, which is really cool and really important if you're a diver, a DMT or a dive master or an instructor, or anyone that just wants to have a knife on them just for a bit of security, or if they like exploring a little bit more. So that's that one there, which is really cool. Next, we have our Pro Blue Ranger, which is that one there. So again, it's a little bit smaller. The blade, again, it's shaved down and it's blunt. So it's more of a multi-purpose tool, more so than a stabby. Comes with our line cutter, serrated edge, and our more refined blade down the bottom. This was my first dive knife that I purchased. And the reason being is because it's quite universal. So it comes with 3 different attachments on its sheath. So right now, the one that's fitted on is the belt buckle style. So you can slide your knife onto your weight belt if you prefer, or somewhere on your BCD. And the knife just clips into place like that. So you can slide it onto anything, really. The other attachment is our low pressure hose attachment, which is the method that I went with. Your knife is secured onto your regulators and you're never going to forget it because it's right here. And the beautiful thing about that is easy access. So it'll sit right here, and then to get it in and out, nice and easy, just like that. And then the third attachment is the lanyard style. So there's a few attachments that you can feed this one through, tie a knot or attach it to a carabiner. It's personal preference, it's up to you entirely. For me, the low pressure hose attachment was the easiest one, just so I wasn't losing my knife or having the knife fall off during a dive. The sheath itself, you have these two little buttons which you have to squeeze in together to be able to pull that knife out. So essentially all you have to do is just push and pull. It is a little bit cumbersome at first, so you do have to kind of get the grip right, I guess. Otherwise, sometimes it can be a little bit of a bit of a wiggle to get it out. The blade itself is a stainless steel 304, which means it's not going to rust. But I would recommend after every dive giving it a bit of a scrub in some fresh soapy water. So that's our Pro Blue Ranger knife. Really, really good quality, and I'd highly recommend grabbing that one. From there, we have our Aqualung Squeezelock knife. Aqualung have a few different models of their knife. This is just their multi-tool knife. So as you can see, it's a little bit different. It doesn't have a point, but it is that squared off edge. And we do have our line cutter as well and our serrated edge down the bottom. We have our Velcro strap, which holds the knife together, which again, you could put just the knife without the sheath through a D-ring and just have it sitting there like that. That being said though, some knives, and Aqualung in this case, the sheath itself has a mounting capability. So on your BCD, you can attach your sheath straight onto those mounting blocks, and your dive knife is secured and attached to your BCD, which means you're never going to forget it because you're always going to have your BCD on you, which is really, really important. I myself have a Aqualung BCD, and upgrading from the Pro Blue Ranger into a dedicated knife for my brand, definitely recommend it. That being said though, the price point for the Pro Blue Ranger and being universal, you don't have to buy specific knives for specific brands, is a really good option as well. Ultimately, any of these knives are going to be perfect for whatever type of diving you're doing, whether you're spearfishing or whether you're scuba diving. Just really kind of depends on the kind of tool that you want to have in the water. So as I said, if you're spearfishing and it's purely for braining a fish, the Spearo Sidekick, a really, really good option. It's safe, that squeeze lock method, the knife isn't going to fall out, and it's going to be nice and secured. Spearo Predator, small, lightweight, and it can attach to your weight belt as well. The Adreno flip knife, up to you entirely if you want to go for something like this. It is a little bit different, but it is a great quality knife. The Adreno FG for myself as a Spearo, this is definitely the one that I went with myself. It's a nice handle, nice rubber handle, and a really secure, really good quality blade. If you like having your knives on your legs, every single one of these knives, except for the Spearo Predator and the Adreno flip knife, have the ability to attach to your leg. In terms of scuba diving, what I would highly recommend is anything that can be attached to your BCD or to your regulator set. So the Aqualung or the Pro Blue Ranger or the Adreno clip knife. After every use in the water, salt water or chlorine, just make sure you give your knife a nice good wash. Some of them, depending on what they're made out of, can have some surface rust on them. So over time, you just want to take care of your gear by washing it and giving them a good scrub in some fresh water. So there you have it, guys. That is our knife review, whether you're a Spearo or a scuba diver. If you have any more questions, by all means, come on into our stores, have a chat to our staff, or shop online as well. And yeah, we'll see you guys there. Cheers.